What changed in your life that made it so much better? Giving up on trying to cure being an introvert and just being happy. Introverts have just as much fun, there are just fewer witnesses. Accepting yourself is truly liberating. There's one important aspect of being an introvert or extrovert. As an introvert, you recharge by being alone. Extroverts recharge by being around people. I occasionally enjoy being around people, and I'm good at being social. I even perform music in public. However, when I'm done with all that, I go home and have to unwind. If I go long periods of time without enough alone time, I start getting progressively more irritated and frustrated. I actually feel happy and at peace when I'm alone. Other people will tell me they feel lonely, or like their apartment feels empty. For me, it's a direct source of happiness, this isolation and peace. I don't want a family, a partner, or even pets. I don't even like hearing neighbors around. Solitude is freedom. Starting therapy. This is awesome. I did therapy for around 3 years, and I recommend it to folks to try at least once in their life. It can take a little time, as a lot of it comes down to having the right therapist who can get through to you, advice, if you need to switch to a therapist or, at any time, want to simply take a week or 2 off. During the process, voice that to your therapist. Wishing you all the best on your journey. There were times I'd second guess myself if it was working right away, but trust the process. You'll take a lot from the experience and learn a ton about yourself. You only need therapy if you're alive. Me. Got out of Syria, not safe yet, but it's a lot better right now. That is hard. Best of luck to you. Rooting for you. Wish I could get out, frown. Quitting alcohol. My life has completely changed in only the best ways. Most notably, I've accomplished all of my dreams. I went back to school and earned my bachelor's, found the love of my life and got married, lost a bunch of weight and somehow look like I've aged backwards. Now my only problem is coming up with new dreams. Same here, man. Got about a semester left. Quitting drinking was the best decision I've ever made in my life. If anyone out there is reading this and is thinking about quitting, do it. It may take a few tries, but it's absolutely worth the effort and it's everything you hoped it can be. Head on over to r/stopdrinking if any of you are tired of it and looking for a rad support groups with tips and encouragement. None of that stale church basement AA stuff, but hey, if that works for you, great. Cutting ties with hateful, angry people in my family. I've done the same. 2 years clean of their bullshit, but I'm still processing just how much damage they did. Life is way better without them. Hope you're living your life as you want without them. Dropping my family was the best thing ever. When your own family criticizes everything you do and belittles you and abuses you, it's better to stand alone against the world. Writing in a journal. Even if it's just I existed. What did you get out of it? Going from working a 9-to-5 office job to 100% remote. I wish I'd done this years ago. Yes. For years I was convinced I chose the wrong career, and I was getting extreme anxiety, had to pull the car over a couple times going to work because of panic attacks. Lockdown happens a year ago and all my stress disappeared and I realized I love my career, I just hate office living and commuting. My biggest fear is the pandemic ending and being forced back into the terrible office culture. Seriously. Even though I work longer hours now, I have so much more energy and less stress once we were forced into WFH. There's something about commuting and sitting in crowded cubicles that is exhausting. I stopped caring so much. For as long as I remember, I've felt a burden of responsibility to my parents, my brother, to myself. Throughout my whole life my parents have relied on me to be the voice of reason, to be the one who has sound mind, to be the one good with finances, to give them advice. It's not healthy for a kid to be put under that kind of pressure, and it just built and built until they filed for bankruptcy in 2017, and when I burned out at work last year. I went to therapy for a bit, for the third time lol, after I burned out and realized that I'm putting up such a high bar of responsibility for myself and it made my life ridiculously miserable. I'm still working and going to school, but having a more relaxed attitude and almost forcing myself to procrastinate on my schoolwork has made my life so much more enjoyable. Edit, for those who might be wondering, the whole concept of a kid being emotionally neglected and unfairly relied on is called parentification. Reading about it was super helpful for me in case anyone needs the term. I appreciate you sharing. My wife and I both had to grow up fast and take care of our other siblings. I will research this more and use it to help myself and my wife. Cheers. Yes, and there's the interesting dynamic in families that when one person is reliable and responsible, the others believe they can just abdicate responsibility. The kidney transplant I just received on Monday, February 15, 2021. It's amazing, isn't it? Going on 17 years with mine and couldn't agree more. I'll never forget how miserable I was when my kidneys were failing and I started dialysis. Those memories serve as added motivation to keep healthy now. Life is good. Best wishes to you moving forward. Breaking up with my ex and finding someone who was so much better for me. It makes a world of difference. My mental and physical health improved. It's pretty incredible how a miserable relationship can drag you down, and how a happy one can change you for the better. Absolutely, happened to me too. And the worst part is not knowing that you can have it so much better. Doubting yourself and thinking that this is a normal situation and others have it worse and you are happy sometimes. And sure, you are happy once in a while, but then when the depression lifts and you realize what happiness actually feels like, you know you've not been truly happy for as long as you were together. On top of that, mine got really mad that I was happy after leaving him. My ex was so toxic I may be single forever. He stole my mental and physical health, put me in debt, cost me my career and ruptured my family. Being away from him is peaceful and comfortable. My biological mother is an abusive, drug-addicted alcoholic who put everything, including her other daughter, above her youngest child. When I was 11, Child Services placed me with my dad and his partner, my mum, for all purposes of the word except birthing. In Australia, previously I was in N. It's been a bumpy road, but I'm now 19, living out of home, have my license, own car, stable job and am studying at uni. I couldn't have done it without my parents, and I have the loving, caring, supportive mum I craved as a child. There was 10 minutes where I didn't know if I was going into foster care or with my dad, and it was the scariest 10 minutes of my life, but ultimately that decision was the best thing that happened to me. That is me and my sister, but we were raised by our grandma. We're both in our late 30s and grandma holds a special place in our hearts for sacrificing so much to raise us while our degenerate mother went off to have fun and be irresponsible instead of raising us. Even today she's an irresponsible drunk and plays the victim, blaming me and my sister for ruining her carefree life. We both have a very distant, grudging relationship with her. Getting a vasectomy. For women everywhere, thank you. I'm on the pill and I hate it more and more every day. I'm always hungry and I'm always getting my period at weird times during the month. I'm always terrified of missing a pill and ending up pregnant, and the fear grows stronger the longer I'm on the pill. And I'm pretty sure my sex drive has taken a massive hit, if that wasn't the most self-defeating side effect ever. And did I mention it's expensive? If I could get a vasectomy I'd do it in a heartbeat. Losing a significant amount of weight. My overall health is so much better. I sleep like the dead every night, when before I suffered badly from insomnia. My blood pressure has come down to normal levels. I'm no longer pre-diabetic. I have cut back on the amount of medication I have to take, which obviously means I have money to spend that I didn't before. I love exercising, even when I was morbidly obese, I enjoyed walking. Now I enjoy walking and I can walk so much further and faster than I could before. Another thing is the major change in my mental health. I was in a very dark space, and I realized the other day how much more positive my outlook in life has become. 10/10 recommend. My journey has been slow, but it has been so worth it. Good for you. Sometimes I worry about the big is beautiful culture that is perpetuated in the US. Everyone is beautiful in their own way, but being obese is not good, period. It's hard on your joints, bad for your heart, and so many other issues. I'm not one to ever fat shame anyone, but promoting it like it's something to be proud of is a dangerous culture to create, especially in a society with such a big weight problem amongst the population. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.